All right, hey guys, we're gonna do some artwork this morning for the Eberron adventure that we're creating. You can see the cover here that we made back in episode 40, Crystals of Mabar. Let me check my signal, make sure that I'm coming through okay. I gotta ding the social media real quick, and then we'll get to work here for an hour and a half, maybe something like that. So checking my signal to hear through. Maybe something like that. Checking my signal. Yeah, sounds like I'm going through A-OK. I'm gonna drop that volume down so it doesn't get in our way anymore, and let's grab that up here, and I'm now posting to social media real quick. So to entertain you while I press a bunch of buttons here in the background, let me say, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I really appreciate you guys coming by today. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online, and I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I've been creating content on the DMsGuild.com since 2018. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004, but since 2018, creating content on DMsGuild. I haven't done anything specifically for Eberron, so I am I'm making this adventure kind of as a love letter to the campaign setting. So let me fix my screen here real quick to conclude my introduction and get to work. If you think today's cool, I'm here 9 times per week in the morning to do artwork, and I do game design in the evenings. Holy Hannah, thanks a lot for new subscribers, guys. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for notification of when we're live in the future. And here's a bunch of books I've already created that are on the DMs Guild. They all have 100% free preview, except for the Subclasses Revivified. I didn't make that book, so it doesn't follow my rules of 100% free preview, but it's still a good book. I did all the monks in there, so ask me anything. But yeah, all these other books, 100% free preview. Check them out. This adventure that we're creating will also be 100% free preview when it's completed. We made this book cover around episode 40. You can see the entire playlist here of all 487 episodes of us making all the maps, all the tokens, some page layout, and the illustrations. So we're currently here. I'll full screen this for you. If you're not familiar already, I'm using this is a PDF, so it's a full digital document. If you full screen with me here, you'll see this is a 16:9 format page. It occupies the space of your screen. It's a 12-point font. It's probably pretty easy for you to read. Here's one of the map. Here's a portion of the village map that's been attacked by undead. Horrible consequences, and we have enough space. Like if I had like a little spotlight over here, maybe I would put something down in this corner. I would feel compelled to do it, but I wouldn't require myself to. But with this much space available, I had to put something in there. So this is the treasure it's basically it's the community treasure, the wealth that they've accumulated in this village. That is now just laying there because everyone is dead. So your team is welcome to scoop it up. So we're going to be finishing the line art for this. I still have some coins, some gold trade bars, and blood splatter on the floor to do. And then from there, we'll start coloring. So with God's grace and a little bit of luck, we'll be able to move on to color today. So I'm going to start up a timer. It's 6:30 here in Seattle. I've got an hour and a half to go. Hey, what's up, Felix? It's good to see you, my guy. Sorry, I keep calling you Felix because I see Ixolix, but it's Fernando. Sorry, my dude. I'm the worst. I am the worst. Appreciate you being around, my man. Let's see. I'm still pretty happy with the perspective on this box. It's not perfect, but it's not bad either. So I'm gonna let it ride. Let's grab this real quick. And why is that so thick? That's really weird. Oh, because I'm grabbing the wrong layer. Herbiderp. That explains a lot. Let's open up the chest and let's grab the actual line art that I thought I was grabbing. There we go. I'll bring this down to size. Erase the bits. go. All right, cool. So, yeah, pretty happy with the chest. Merge down. It's a cool name. I'm just dumb. Let's see. Okay, so that sits pretty. That's it. We have a there's a strongbox lock that we need to have on here. So let's actually tell you what. Let's figure out the trade bars first. That's the biggest priority I think we have at the moment. But I never use no one. Oh, well, fair enough then. Cheers. I mean, hey, you know, we're all self-auditing our lives, aren't we not? If I'm inspiring positive change in your life, then I am a willing participant in that. So, cheers. Let's make these trade bars a little bit more interesting. With some octagon and like an elongated octagon sort of thing. Is that the right angle? Not quite. Let's give it a tilt. There we go. We'll start square and then we'll trim the edges as we go. So here is where I want to be. Like that. Go to here. And then we'll start dropping color in once we get this line art resolved. There, and is that feeling good? No, that's a little too tilted compared to the rest. I mean, it's at an odd angle, but I need to make sure. See, like this is angling up too much, so I need to flatten that out a smidge, like that. Which makes it too thick. So let's see if I can drop it to like that. Nope. I need to change the angle here. Let's thin that down a smidge. See if I can get this. I need to foreshorten it more, but it's making it feel too boxy, so I need to thin it down some. The more I thin it, the more, this is not an angle that I like. Here's our sweep, basically like that. Which I can actually keep that. Drop that into the background. Okay, that should provide us some good guidelines for us to be able to move forward. Let's see. Thin it up a smidge. Do I need to give it a tilt? Just a bit of a tilt. Okay, that should be better. Perspective is a bitch, man. I don't make it easy on myself either by giving myself like low to the ground perspective. So it oh, that's not bad. Let's go to distort. Yeah, I don't make it easy on myself at all by giving myself odd angles to work on. I can't foreshorten the perspective too much, otherwise it looks weird. So let's try doing this. Let's trim that edge like that so it kind of curves off. It's too small here. Like that. Oh, we're gonna be here for a hot minute, folks. We're gonna be here for a hot minute while I resolve this. Just need to turn that up a smidge like that. The floorboards are the wood paneling on the floor is definitely going to help with guidelines to help make this make more sense. Almost there. There we go. That should do. I feel like this is too low on the screen. I'm going to shorten it a little bit so the text is easier for me to read. I'm going to raise this up a smidge. All right, back on track. Okay, cool. So trade bars. This is going to be a in D&D. It's 50 gold pieces. Like 50 pieces of coin is 1 pound. So 100 a trade bar is basically a large block of gold or platinum or whatever. It's 2 pounds worth of precious material. So it's worth 2 pounds is 100 pieces of gold, so you basically get this like this cell phone bar. This is worth 100 coins. I mean, 100 coins. It's gonna be like probably 3 times the size of this. Ooh, 1111. That was nice. So I actually want to make this a bit bigger. And there's 3 of them. Yeah, that's a good size. We'll do that. Obviously, it has to be able to fit inside the box, so I'm capped on how large I can make them. Oop, there it is. There. I think I found it. I think I found it. Almost there. Let's push this back just a touch like that. That's curved there. It's not having right angles to the floor and the like the slats on the floor and the other objects. It's at a natural, just odd angle, which is why the perspective is being so tricky on me. I shied away from inorganic material like this for a long time in my earlier days because I had so much trouble with these more natural angles. Like, it's unnatural to think that everything's just going to line up on a grid for you when you're looking at it, right? It's got to just naturally fall into place for what you're doing. And so that intimidated me, so I stayed away from it a long time. But as I've gained more experience, I'm I have more faith in my ability to figure it out, even if it takes time to do it. There, I can get rid of that altogether at this point. It's still a little off. Let's see if I can correct that there. Ooh. That feels pretty good. I think I need to skew a snitch though. Quick transform. Let's skew you just a bit. Like that. And then quick transform. Increase the size a bit. Not quite. Let's distort. Ooh, that's not bad. Okay, cool. Let's keep that. It's good enough for now. That's one. And we need two more. I'm going to drop the opacity on the chest so it doesn't get in the way of the line work too much. Don't make it easy on myself like ever. There we go. The Bastion campaign project is calling at me again. It wants attention, but I'm struggling to find time. Between my home table, the play test, and building this, I got a lot on my plate, and everything is begging for my attention. I need a few clones to be able to build this thing out. Luckily, a lot of the satisfaction I get from doing projects like this is actually doing the projects themselves. I talk about dopamine release a lot, and delayed gratification and rewarding effort. And I feel very, very fortunate to have developed these skills in an earlier time before social media bled our attention span and provided us with cheap chemical satisfaction. Because I do not, the only thing I lament about spending so much time on this is that I have so many other things that I want to do. The actual process of me doing this itself is very satisfying. I love doing art, always have, and I probably always will. I'll probably die at the easel, but there's so many things that are crying out for attention. But when but if I finish those, there's always another, like every time I finish a book, it spawns the desire to create like 4 more books. So I can never catch up. The amount of content that wants to be created, it's ridiculous. Hey, finally. Okay, we're finally looking pretty good here. I'm happy with that. That looks about right. So we can leave that. I can actually make it a little bit bigger, and that should hopefully keep in perspective properly and fill up space a little bit better. A little bit bigger. Bad. Okay, I can let that sit. Okay, here comes the tricky part. Another one lapadoodled on top of it. I do not make life easy. This is gonna be fucking brutal. Okay, I hate this already. But this is what she wants. This is what the muse wants. So we gotta do what the muse wants. She can see it in the future, and she's just piping the vision to me through the gestures. I am just a vessel. I'm just a vessel. This is not my decisions. I'm just I am the instrument through which she can express creativity. Believe in the process. That's going to be appropriate like that. That actually will work. That looks really nice with the bag. But B, it allows me to put another one kind of like skewed underneath this one, so I don't have to worry about the perspective on that one too hard. Yeah, I see what she's trying to do. This makes sense. Thanks, babe. It is babe, isn't it? I have a lamb leg waiting for me. I'm going to broil today for my lunch. I have one meal a day, and it's about I have it around 2 o'clock. So I'm going to cut it up and start marinating it when I get done with stream here, and let it sit for. It'll be 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It'll be a 6 hour. It'll be a 6 hour based. So that should tender it up really nicely. It's a pound. It's 1 1/3 pound, and I think there's a little bit of bone in it, but not a lot. It's mostly meat. So I'll broil that for. And maybe I'll slow cook it. I'll put it at normally like when I'm doing chicken or just like flank steak or something, I'll broil it. So I'll put it in a broiler at 450, and typically chicken gets cooked in like 9 minutes at that rate. It's pretty fucking fast, and it's juicy because it doesn't have time to release all of its fluids over time. But with the lamb, I think I want to do a slower braise. So we're gonna make a soy sauce and mustard bath, basically, to baste it in and let marinate for a while. Then we're gonna cook it and eat it. Nom 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 nom. Lamb is so good. I should learn how to make shawarma. Let's give that a tilt. That is totally gonna work out. Let's make this just a smidge bigger. I can make this one a smidge smaller. There we go. Thank you, timer. 1, 2, and I need a third, so I need to push this one. Like I can leave that one there. I can put this one. That actually makes sense there. If I take the whole thing and I don't want to push it up. I want to make it a little bit bigger, actually. Let's do that. There we go. Yeah, I need to fix that angle just a little bit over here. Like that. And soften the edges. Gold's very malleable, so it shouldn't have hard edges. It needs to be a little squishy, a little soft around the sides. There. can make that just a little bit bigger. Like that. And then I can actually here, let's use warp. Nope. Ooh, perspective, that works. Snidged it a bit. There. Okay, that feels pretty good. I think I can let that sit. And now we need the last bar. We're gonna put that in like this. No, let's do it. Let's do it like that. I don't want them stacked neatly because they're just being stacked. You know, they're just being taken out of the chest for inventory's sake. If we can finish, if I can get this one, I should have some time off screen tonight to work on this a bit, and so if I can get this finished by before Monday, my intention is this Monday to start a forest painting, a Bob Ross style forest painting for the Carnwood, because we have like a 1/3 in the next section, I have an entire panel here that's empty. It's like one of the biggest spots I have on it. So I get to fill it with an entire forest. Hey, Fox, it's good to see you. It's been fantastic in Monday mornings. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you, Fox. Shout out to my Patreon supporters. God bless you folks for helping me get some coffee in my system in the mornings. It is Folgers crystals in your cup. God bless. And that's kind of linear, ain't it? But I think I'm okay with it. It's skewed a bit, which is fine. There. Okay, that feels good. And then so let's take all these things and drop them down a bit like that and there. So we have I'm happy with that perspective. It feels like it fits on the page. So I want to get some distractions. Well, mostly this chest. I want to get this chest out of the way, so it's not. And let's get our money bags out of the way so they're not distracting the space. Let's go into here, and let's clean up that line art a smidge. Here. Yeah, they're trade bars. Yeah, gold trade bars. They're £2. I believe, if I recall correctly, they're £2 worth 100 coins each. I mean, for 7th and 8th level characters, this isn't a lot of wealth, but for a small farming community, it's pretty damn good. Like I was talking about last time, the journal that the team gets, it's an accounting of all the transactions in the community since it began, and if the characters study the book during a long rest. If they make a successful history check, intelligence history check, then they can recognize that the town is actually profitable with the fur trade, lumber from the Carnwood, and crops that they're producing that they can basically provide a modest lifestyle for any community that's here. And if you roll, it's only it's a DC 10 on a history check just to recognize this place is sustainable. It's someplace you could actually settle down and make a living at, and it's working out. But if you succeed on a DC 15, you can notice efficiencies that could be implemented that would be able to support a larger community and actually elevate everybody into a comfortable lifestyle given time. So there's, if people, like if your team is interested in that sort of shit, you could actually build like this. There's potential for growth here for you, especially if you want to take advantage of the Bastion options. The underground facility that we have in the adventure, the rooms are organized as facilities in a Bastion. Like there's an armory and there's a warehouse, there's a laboratory, a teleportation chamber. There's all the rooms and all the segments, a barracks. There, it's all organized as a Bastion. So if your team takes it over, the rooms are already built out, so you can just fill them in with your facilities to be able to run it as a Bastion. And if you want to use my Bastion campaign supplement, you'd be able to start running adventures through the Carnwood and the surrounding Talenta Plains to run a campaign from basically level 8 or 9 on. Yeah. So I am in all reality, I mean, this adventure is taking me for fucking ever, right? I mean, I started this a year before I published, before I was streaming the Spelljammer book. So it has been a long time coming, but I think as a result of that duration and allowing 2024 to evolve alongside this, I am actually really, really happy with what 2024 has been able to do to allow me to expand on this the way that I wanted to. It's not just a hypothetical model of like, yeah, you could make this your dominion, your home base if you wanted to. We now have actual mechanics. I mean, as light as they are in the DMG, but still, they're there. The mechanics are there, and you can actually build a Bastion from it, and now everything's been measured out. So I think everything is playing out like really for the best. Just because I want something done faster than it gets done doesn't mean that it's being done wrong. It's just I'm impatient. We were talking about that. I'm just excited about how many things there are out there that I can build with a perfect awareness of how finite a time frame I have to do it. I'm going to die eventually. And when I die, a lot of the things that I wanted, I mean, like I said, every time I finish a book, it spawns the desire to make 4 more books. So it's a constant, it's a constant attrition that I'm facing. I'm actually pretty damn happy with these trade bars. This one is a little bit bigger than this one. That's bothering me. thin you up a snutch. Who knows? Maybe my creative ambition will help. Between my creative ambition and my growing addiction for chess, maybe that will prevent me from succumbing to the Alzheimer's. That, and that I starve myself frequently and have a low sugar content most of the week. I'm hoping to keep the brain moles away so that I don't lose my mind, so I can actually do this. Like, my mom is 80, and she writes poetry books, and she goes to poetry competitions. She writes haikus and like, and she does her own artwork in her books as well. But she uses like MS Paint to like do like pixel like little tile pixel art. It's and she didn't start doing that until after I started making books myself. So we've it's so funny. Me and my mom are kind of on the same creative trajectory, but while she's more involved in scripture and matters of the matters of heart and inspiration, I do RPGs as my heart of inspiration. It's actually really funny. And her parents were painters as well. They're damn good painters. Chest. Let's push this out to full, and then so if the sons take after the mother, then I should be okay for another 30 years of doing this. God, I can't even imagine what I'm going to be capable of producing in 30 years. It's kind of exciting. Think about it. I'm going to take this and I'm going to skew it. Nice. Okay, it's good enough. And these floorboards are horrible, but that's okay. We'll get rid of those. Let's bring our bags back in. Oh my God, that works out so nicely. It even fits the angle. God, that's such kismet. Such good kismet. Holy crap. Where's that coming from? The bag. Wow. This really is just falling. The muse, she really just knows. I'm telling you, there is a muse that lives in my heart and head, and she guides me to do artwork. And my job is just to shut the fuck up and push the pixels and let her guide me. And it just, look at that. It just falls into place. God, you're so good, babe. You're so good. It is insane. I don't see any of this. It's just I push the pixels and it comes into being. I am often as much of a witness of this creation process as you all are. I just have like a half-second delay advance notice over you, because like I can feel it coming through. But the line art and the stuff that happens, I can't visualize stuff in my head and then just put it on the paper, like Mobius. If I recall correctly, Mobius was able to completely visualize all the comic pages that he produces, and it's just taking it out of his head and just replicating what he's looking at in his eye. That's how clear he could see things in his mind. I just have an idea. I just have an idea of what I want, and I just trust that I'll be able to find it as I keep putting lines and color on the page that'll just manifest. And it always works out. And the more I get out of my way, the more I get out of my own way, the quicker I can find it, and the better off it ends up being. It's kind of amazing, really is. God damn, it feels good to be a gangster. All right, I still need to do some scattered coins here to represent what's going on in these bags. and I need to put a lock and some grain on the box. I don't need to put grain on the box. I can, but I do need to put blood splatter and some crystals on the ground, some moss, and then we'll get the coloring. So we're doing good. Outside of wearable stuff is probably my group's favorite treasure to find. Hell yeah! I mean, they're good. Trade bars are fucking cool. I think it was a great idea. I think that's a great innovation for 5e, because I don't recall trade bars existing before 5e. It was always gems of some sort, right? But trade bars just make sense. It just makes sense from like a merchant perspective. So I love that they're here. 5e simplified a lot, but I don't have any real complaint. My only complaint about 5e is how uninspiring WotC tends to be. But like I've said before, the 5e game engine is fucking amazing. Not that trade bars are any part of the game engine itself, but it's just a very small example of tweaks and changes that they've made to the game engine. Nah, that's not doing me any good. I should stop doing that. Fancy up these corners a little bit. Like that. That's good. So yeah, it's the process of creating art unto itself. It's a discovery. It's an experience of discovery for me, and I just absolutely love it. Trashmen are here. My fireplace is broken. The back plate is breached. It cracked, which is apparently something that just happens on occasion. So I can't use my fireplace until it gets repaired, because I could accidentally catch I guess I could catch the surrounding structure on fire and burn down my home, and it's like literally right there. So I can't. I'm upset about that because the weather is so nice and cool right now. Here in Seattle, it's probably going to be my last opportunity to have a fire until November. So I lament that it's broken, but luckily a chimney crew's coming in on Thursday, tomorrow or Friday. I haven't been told I'm not sure exactly when they're going to arrive. I'm on their schedule. Oh, 20-minute timer. Let's click that through. Make sure I don't get. I use a 20-minute timer to keep track of, well, to keep track of time, but also to make sure that I don't get caught up in a small tangent, like a small inconsequential thing that ends up eating too much time. Let's add a block there. That. Yeah, it keeps me from from falling into too much of a tangent. Anyway, word salad. Wait, where am I? Here I am. Where'd who go? There, that, and we'll drop down the opacity on that just a smidge. There, now we need to have merge down. Add this here. Here. Like that. Then we'll erase the interior. Spelling a little latch lock. It's the details that get you, you know? Just gotta splash in a little bit of detail and it makes the whole thing just make more sense. This would end up being a decent little piece of stock art. Honestly, it's a weird shape though. Like that's the problem with most of my stuff. It's I organically fit it into whatever space it needs to occupy, which ends up being like all these like weird angles with like gaps and stuff in them. Don't always they don't always you know, fit into like a 3x5 space. So it's difficult. Like I have to basically like rebuild a decent portion of a lot of the art that I make to make it acceptable as stock art, which is obnoxious. But I don't do these things specifically to make stock art. Obviously, I don't really fucking sell stock art, though. I need to get my Shopify set up, and I could. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's there, and then let's see. So that's the latch. Clips on there. I need, hold on. I need a loop. Okay, so if you have a lock, that lock goes through a ring. Right, okay, so I need a ring. Is the text going on? What's up? Nope, we're good. I'm not neglecting nobody. I'm just doing my thing. Oops. There's that, and now we can let's merge this down actually here, and then drop the opacity on it for a smidge so we can build out this lock like this. Where's our locking mechanism? Here. That. There we go. You gotta, when you're doing fantasy art is so, fantasy illustration is so punishing because you have to know like everything. Like for me to make this lock right, I have to understand how locking mechanisms work, right? For me to be able to properly depict them so that you'll absorb the information. For me to be able to have a fantastical creature that feels grounded in reality, everything about reality around that magical creature needs to make sense. And sci-fi is the same way. If you're gonna make up shit, then the stuff that you're making up has to be grounded in things that already make sense to the audience. And so it gets daunting because you have to know so much shit about so much stuff. The amount of things that I've researched in my life just so I could properly illustrate something, it's ridiculous. I won't. Don't make me elaborate because I'm having a difficult time at the moment thinking of anything. But trust me, it's true. Don't call me out when I'm talking shit. Why is this not working? I should be able to select this and then right click and then adjust. What do I not get? Free transform. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't see that. There. But like crops, like how plants work, how portcullis work, different like joints and armor. I was researching locking mechanisms for a door that we have in the underground facility that the team gets access to. Chainmail, like how chains interlink with each other. How to thread rope, so I could have the proper texture on rope. Flower petals, like when you have like a deviant, like a twisted flower petal. What's that like? The fractal cauliflower. It's just endless shit. That you just end up having to know how to do to pull off illustrations in general, just so that everything feels legit, so that you can then draw Manticore. So now I need to know like what a goat's head, well, manticores are like monkey, bat, scorpion things. Like how am I gonna, what is a scorpion tail actually supposed to look like instead of like being, so there's this idea of a symbol versus an illustration. A symbol is a graph, like for example, this is not an ant. This is a symbol that represents an ant. If I want to actually illustrate an ant, I need to figure out what the fuck its head actually looks like. I need to figure out how does the joints work here. Where are they positioned along the thorax? What's a thorax? Where's the breathing vents along their abdomen? Like this is just a symbol. And when you're a child, when you're young, well, when you're a young illustrator, whether you're old or not, like physically, but when you're new to illustration, you're mostly working in symbols. And as you continue to evolve in your artistic strength, you start casting aside the symbols and recognize this isn't real. This is just a representation. And you have to constantly shit test yourself Like, is this a real thing, or am I just operating off of an assumed symbol? And once you get into that, it's like, oh wait, there's a lot of architecture that's inside here. There's like a lot of mechanism and engineering that went into whatever it is that we're looking at. That I don't understand yet, that I need to be able to properly suss out to make a convincing illustration, so that when you look at it, it's like, yep, that's a strong box. I see text. Hold on. I'll get to you. What's up? Well, hey, what's up, Penguin? Is it a mimic? It's not a mimic. There we go. This is all folding together really nicely. Okay, cool. That strongbox is good. Those trade bars are good. Sacks of gold are good. Journal's good. Giant ruby is good. I need coins. I need a little scattering of coins here. And I need blood splatter and the crystals of Mabar growing in that blood over here. So let's collapse the chest, the trade bars, the money bags. The floor is off angle at this point, so I'm just going to destroy that layer before it causes me trouble. Let's add in, let's go with blood. And we're just going to... Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is fiction because fiction is obligated to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. Good words, Penguin. Good words. We're going to fill this in with blood. Blood, 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 blood. Welcome, newcomers. Appreciate you guys being around. Got a decent little crowd today. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're... So, and for the newcomers here, just to sustain your interest, again, this is a PDF that we're making for the adventure, and it's a 16:9 format, so here on full screen. This works on like tablets and phones, and I have obviously a widescreen monitor like everyone else does. But like if you're running a game and you're in neat space and you have your DM screen up, this can easily sit. It's a 12-point font, which is huge for like the hardbound books in D&D. I think they use a 10-point font, and this is the base text here is 12-point font, so it's easier to read. And if you have normal vision, it'd be easy for you just to take your tablet and set it on the table in front of you and have your DM screen up, and you can just pan through vertically. So horizontally, you can see the full page, but vertically, it's also, each of these columns is also 16:9 format. So I can't twist my monitor to show you, but it still fits inside that space. So it's... since I don't see color, I can't paint and color into printed things because I can't proof print, but I can make sure the color is right online because I have an RGB thing up here in the corner. This RGB scale that's over here. This is there. This is my RGB scale. It's over here in the corner. And that's my color vision. So if it's digital, I can paint in color. So that means I don't. If I ever decide to start printing stuff like in like a Kickstarter or whatever, I would probably end up just doing black and white art, like line art, like pen and ink and stuff like that. But online, PDFs like this, I can work in full color. And so since it's bound to, since I don't ever intend for this to be a printed project, it means I don't have to comply with normal page spaces. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, is this going to fit onto something that can easily be printed at a printing shop? Like a 16 by 9 page on a printer, that's a legal sheet. Like, legal sheets are like 17 by are 11 by 17, and that's like a legal page, right? The legal size anyway, like A14 or something, or A2. I think it's A2. Anyway, that would be ridiculous to print out. And when I bound it, it would have to open like floppy style, like opening this way, not this way. So since I'm not bound to thinking about how is this going to work in print, I can format it any way that I want. So I customize the page to fit the medium that you're going to use, which is going to be a tablet, a phone, or a desktop. So yeah, that's the idea that goes there, which gives me a shitload of space for me to be able to build things on. So it's actually, this is the first time I've actually used this format, and it's working out. I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of fun. So that's a space that we're gonna have for blood. Here. And what's up? Hey, Steve, it's good to see you, my guy. Technology is our friend. Yeah. Since my vision is so poor, I work in a digital space anyway. If I'm in meat space, I'm very rarely looking at notes, because it's obvious that I'm looking at notes when I look at them. I can't hide it. I'm doing this with my face. Like, you can tell I'm reading something. So normally when I'm in physical space with somebody, I'm just improvising. Well, I'm improving like 80% of the time. And after DMing for 38 years, fucking 38 years now I've been DMing. I've gotten pretty good at improv. So it's I don't even think about it anymore. But we adapt. That is to say, we adapt and evolve to our circumstances, and that sculpts the type of, not only like obviously the artwork that you produce in this instance, but also your DMing style in role-playing games. It evolves and adapts to the circumstances that you're in, just like everything else should. That's probably good enough. I don't think I'm going to bother with the crystallizing of the blood and the moss and stuff until we actually get into the coloring phase. So that's good there. I'm just going to leave that blood as is. And next we're going to add in coins, and coins will be the last bit. So I've seen reference images for Eberron, and Eberron coins are octagons. And a gold piece is typically going to have somebody's face on it, like a profile image of somebody's face. And then I'm thinking, I'm thinking about having mostly gold coins and then some silver coins. And for silver coins in Karrnath, since the 5 nations are minting their own coins now, I'm thinking about using the same wolf head that I have for the badges that the character gets as deputies, because wolves are a thing in Karrnath. So they're octagons, which are geometrically pretty easy to pull off, but they do have angles and shit that we need to worry about. So I guess let's start worrying about it. I'm gonna just leave those there for now. Fade those down, and let's start putting things in place. So we'll have a coin here. And a coin. I'm just drawing as circles right now, but we'll make them octagons as we go through this process. A fucking coin up here on the trade bar. Of course, I'm not going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to do like a still life. This is basically still life still life painting that we're doing. So figuring out where the different architecture of this stuff is at and the positioning. What time is it? 7:30. Okay, I got 20 minutes left. So looks like we're not going to get the coloring this morning like I wanted to. But I'm not that far off the mark. So tomorrow when we come back, you guys can, since I don't see color, you know, how do I color? Well, I'll show you the sampling process and what I do to be able to pull it off. So free transform, let's make that a bit bigger here. I originally started streaming. One of many reasons why I decided to start streaming artwork was that I had to, as somebody who's fully colorblind, there was no one out there that could help me understand how could I possibly paint in color. So naturally, I had to do it myself. And so once I figured it out, I'm told I'm pretty good. And I'm going to have to take everyone's word for that until I die. I am hoping that there is an afterlife of some sort so that I might have an opportunity to see what all the hubbub about color is from somebody who doesn't have... Like, I'm bound inside this flesh machine, and its limitations are my limitations. So I am in a world without color. But maybe if this all is a game, when the game is over, I'll be able to extract myself and have a look at all the things that I did. That will possibly be my reward for a life well lived. We'll see. We'll see. And if there's nothing, and if there really is nothing and we return to nothingness, then I won't know the difference. But I'm excited. It's odd that I have the opportunity to actually be excited about dying. Like when I finally get to, I'm not rushing to get there because, you know, I love my life, but I'm not actually afraid of dying because I have something that I can actually, like, I have a goal. I have a goal when I die. Like if I die and there's something after death, then maybe, just maybe, I get to see what everyone else got to see. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe other people feel that too. Who knows? Well, I mean, about different things. Like I get to see my family again, or I get to see my pet, or I get to find out what's on the dark side of the moon. Who knows? You know, we have goals, but this one is a very, very personal goal of mine. Like it's an actual something I actually hope for. There's I live in Seattle, and University of Washington has been doing genetic therapy for colorblind people, but it only works for RGB for like red green. Like if you're missing some cones, they have this therapy that they can inject into your retina, and it will stimulate the missing cones to grow in. But you have to have something to build from in the first place to be able to do it. So somebody who's fully colorblind like me, I don't get the benefit from that therapy. I put my name in the hat for potential genetic testing, but the response was, I mean, we're looking for partial colorblind only, not fully colorblind. But it's exciting that we're getting to a place in our science that we can correct errors like that, limitations. But that also makes me lament. Like if you haven't seen Gattaca, the movie Gattaca, boy, that movie is worth your time. It's about society advancing to the point where you can code what your child is going to be. Like you can go in and manipulate the genetic code. It's expensive, so it's a rich man's game, but you can do it. So there's a two-caste society: people that are naturally born and people that are engineered. And the story is about a naturally born child that dreams of becoming an astronaut, but mostly the astronaut program is only reserved for genetically engineered people because their health levels are so good. And this guy that was naturally born has a heart murmur that 20 years from now is probably going to get him killed. And so he's been shut out of the most exciting programs in life. And so he finds a way to trick the system to basically pull off a heist, a fraud, that he's actually a genetically enhanced human, so that they would admit him into the space program. And he's working with a genetically engineered person who does have perfect genes, but he was in a car accident and he's paralyzed. So in his eyes, he was supposed to be an athlete. He was supposed to be this amazing person, and circumstances took that life from him, and he's bitter and angry. But the guy that's genetically flawed, who had none of these advantages, has to struggle and fight to figure out how he can be on a square footing with these other advantaged people. And through luck, cheating, and trickery, he's able to get himself into this program, and prove to himself and deceive everyone else that he is worth it, that he's not a mistake, that he has value. And naturally, that's something that resonates a shitload with me. And it resonates. Basically, it's a love letter to anybody that has any kind of a disability, that would see themselves as, why was I made this way? And the fact is that the flaws that we have in our life compel us to struggle and to find a way to overcome the limitations that we have. So starting off with like self-funding, low resource lives offer the greatest opportunity for personal growth, because you have to strive. Like people that are born into ultra rich families, as I understand it, like all their issues are psychological. I have no reason to strive. My life means nothing. And maybe that's just a cope in a caste system of haves and have-nots, but you can see it. So it's interesting. It's an interesting study. So yeah, Gattaca, Gattaca. Very good movie. Incredibly worth. I think I don't need to overdo the coins. I think that's probably going to be good enough. So I'm going to get rid of that there. Hey, what's up? Nothing. Feel like things are happening, but no text. We're all good. No one's obliged to have a conversation with me. I'm just kind of talking, because that's what I do. When I paint, I turn off. I don't actively have to engage with the artwork. I've been painting for a very long time, so I've gotten to a place where most of the art that I do, it's just the paintbrush does what the paintbrush wants to do, and I just stay out of the way. And honestly, the easiest way for me to stay out of the way in that process is to just talk about whatever comes to mind. So weird things, just, I don't know, whatever pops out of my head pops out of my head. That's where we go. I'm gonna slide this over a little bit just to frame it a little bit better. Like I don't want it to be too large, because I don't want it to crowd the text. I want it to be able to sit well in the frame. Like that's a. So so I talk about this occasionally. There's different levels of composition. There's the individual piece that we're working on, and how does the stuff in the image itself balance with each other. And then there's the page itself. How do the images that we build unto themselves fit into the full page as its own presentation? Like this is its own piece of art, the whole page. And then from there we pan out again to the full book. The full book is another composition. How does this page fill in and complement the total piece that we're building? And this is a, I think it's a 90. I think it's going to end up seeing like probably once we get the monster stat blocks updated for 2024, which I have not done yet, but it's on my list of things to do. It's the last thing I need to do to update the book. It's like 5 pages that aren't current. Otherwise, everything else is good. So it's about a 98, 99 page book, give or take. We'll see. But the whole of the book, the whole composition of it becomes the piece of art, and all of these different little pieces that go into it, all of it complements the whole experience of exploring that document. So I got a bunch of books that are linked down below on the DMsGuild.com. They're all 100% free previews. So if you click on the eye icon, or if you're on a desktop, there will be a button that says full preview underneath the cover. You can look at the full composition and you can see how I approach different challenges of different game material content that I'm producing. So, and this adventure is by far the most comprehensive piece that I've done. So, hey, what's up, Penguin? Long time no see, my dude. Looking in silence. Right on, man. I mean, hey, if me rambling like this and tapping at keys is a good study hall for people to do what they want to do in their own creative endeavors, and if me rambling about shit provides inspiration to people just to hammer away at their own art, then I am happy to be a participant in that effort for you. This is when I was growing up. I didn't most of, like, I talk about this, artists are like suffer in silence. Like it's not a group activity. Even acting like on a stage, like doing a play, it's still to a point a solo activity, because you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you know what your teammates are going to do in the play. You're not, like, I would say improv is probably the most dynamic, like, improv comedy. You know, cringe if you want, but it is probably the closest thing to legitimate spontaneous creation as a performance art. But even then, they're running scripts and like variable programs to an extent. But writing, painting, sculpture, it's all a solo activity. And depending on how good you are at it, is going to determine how much you can actually interact with people. When I was younger, before the internet, back in the days before computers and Photoshop, all the artwork that I did was just basically pencil sketching. And I would pencil sketch while I was hanging out with my friends at home. Like I'd lay on a bed, and like my friend Kyle would be on a chair over there playing guitar, and we'd just be talking shit about, you know, whatever was on our minds at the time. And I could draw and sketch and stuff like that while I'm having these conversations, and that built me into a space where I'm able to basically ramble on like this ad nauseum. I need to shape those coins into octagons. So let's go through that process now. I don't guarantee that is going to be easy to do. So let's drop these coins. We're going to add in a new layer here called coins. So everything in my life, I can look back at all the things that have happened to me and the circumstances that I've had, and I can see how they all curve together to get me to where I am here right now. Like if I hadn't spent countless hours on the weekends and summer times with my friends talking smack, and I did it throughout college as well. I would, like, when we were playing D&D in college, I would constantly be sketching like characters or maps or scenes and monsters and stuff like that while we're engaging in game. And I'm going to take these trade bars and drop the opacity on them so they don't get in the way so much. And let's take the money bags and let's drop those a little bit as well so they slide to the background. There. So they don't get in the way. There. Hey, octagons aren't so difficult, are they? But I can see now. So I wanted to start streaming and doing artwork like this because I used to have conversations like this all the time when I was growing up while I'd be drawing. And once once I started getting into digital art using photo, like again, since I don't see color, the only way I can paint in color is digitally. And back in like 2004, when I was doing commission work for RPGs and character commissions and stuff like that, it was all digitized, and just the early days of Photoshop, just being able to monetize all that stuff and you know, do gigs, it pulled me away from art being social into being a private affair, and I started having that disconnection from the opportunity to connect with my friends and stuff, like what we're doing right now, right? Being able to have this conversation. And it's mostly me just rambling at you guys, but the feeling is very similar. It feels like the old school, hanging out on the couch and sketch pad in hand and scratching at character ideas. So this is very reminiscent to how that used to be for me. Let's take this and go here and here, here and here, and then connect, 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 connect. This is crude right now, but we'll have a second pass to clean up the crudeness. I just want to get the shapes right. And then we'll put the face on the coins. There, and there. And I am almost out of time. So this is my morning gig. I live in Seattle. It's 7:45, almost 7:50 here in the Pacific Northwest, and I have a day job. So I will in a few minutes I'm going to log out and then do my day job. And so I paint in the mornings like this, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll begin the coloring process. And then I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights, and Tuesday and Friday lunchtimes. And ironically, I'm the guy that created the color mana system for 5th edition to convert the spell casting into the color mana that's Magic the Gathering. So, holy Hannah, someone's really punching out the text. What's up? Oh, right on, my guy. Penguin, it's good to see him again. Good to see you, dude. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? I wish I had that amount of discipline for my writing days. Writing is difficult. It's difficult. Writing is very lonely because you can't have a conversation while you're fighting over what's the fucking adjective I need to put in here, you know? Like the amount of times I have to reword things to like, and it gets worse, right? Because I'm building composition here. So I need to be able to make sure that this Mayor Residence block here, back apartment, the porch door leading into the back apartment hangs from its frame awkwardly, but it doesn't immediately open when pushed, obstructed by something on the inside. Like I have to hammer out all this text and make sure it actually makes sense and fits inside of the space. Like that is not easy to do. It's one thing if it's just a novel, like 50,000 words, let's go. I can tell you a story. Sure, I have to worry about logic pathing and story beats and stuff like that, and that has its own problem. Like if this section drags on too long, I'm going to lose the reader. I have to keep it fast and clipping. But when you're doing like game design like this, not only am I telling a story, I'm also providing technical information that has to also have internal logic that just makes sense. So all the technical shit that's going on inside of the text is aligning with the story that you're trying to like this cloud, this nebulous. If you railroad them too much as a story, it's not going to be fun as an adventure. So you have to build these story beats into the adventure, but not dictate what those are going to be. And then you have to make sure that those ideas fit inside the space on the page, because on this page I need to be able to have all the technical details that the DM needs to be able to make it run, the flavor text that can convey to the players immediately, like the obvious flavor text stuff, I need to also have the map that's depicting the page of text that we're talking about. And then I have the gap, and then beyond the map, there's also all the gaps that show up on the page that look weird if I just leave it empty. So I create all these spot illustrations to fill in those gaps. So adventure writing is like building an adventure like this. This is just the most difficult project that I've ever done. Prior to this, it's mostly just been game rules, either player options or DM mechanics. And that's pretty easy to do. I just got to make sure that I can parse out the information so that it flows smoothly and logically from front to end, so that if you walk through the document, you end up understanding the concepts of a game system. That's easy compared to this. Holy fuck. All right, well, that was my timer. It's 7:53 here in Seattle. I got to bounce out of here for my day to do. I'm not 100% happy with these octagons here, but they're good enough. So we still need to put a face stamp on them. So we'll get that taken care of tomorrow morning, and then we're gonna get into color. So we'll go through the coloring process. We'll start that tomorrow. So that's it for now. Like I said, I'm here. Oof, that angle is off. So I'm gonna leave this in place here for now. I don't like that coin. That's it for now. I'm hitting the save button. We'll be back tomorrow to begin coloring. And like I said, I'm here 5 days a week in the morning doing artwork. I do game design for D&D 5e. I'll be doing my own role-playing game. Eventually, I'm playtesting it with my home table right now. It's just not ready to go. So that's a process. But if you like game design, if you like this artwork, and you think the conversations are cool, like, subscribe, bell icon, check out my books down below. Be welcome to kick into my Discord, which is free access to folks if you want. And I'll be back tomorrow morning. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.